Go ahead.
So one of the things that you said at the lunch that I was really compelled by was the distinction between politics and leadership.
Mm-hmm.
That someone asked you if you had ever thought about becoming a representative in the government, and you commented
Yes.
negatively.
Uh-huh.
You said
Yes.
you weren't, but that. So I'd love to have you talk about what you see as the difference or the relationship between politics and leadership, since you definitely are identified as a leader, but not necessarily a politician.
Social leader.
Social leader.
I call
Yes.
myself a social leader.
Okay.
If I am a leader, I don't know if I am a leader, but if I am a leader, I feel a social leader. To be a social leader, because a politician has an agenda that it goes with politics, which I don't want to touch in it, because I feel that that's not my area, that's not my expertise. My expertise is to create from the civil society leadership movement. Leadership movement that it will take part in a social affair, how to reach out for the needs of the society, how they can fulfill those area that there is a need, how they can listen, and how they can fill out those positions to be a part of a group, a movement that will help the society to be complete and a peaceful society. Because I believe that a peaceful society can serve a better nation than a disturbed society. And to have a peaceful society, you need a peaceful leader. You need to take agenda, take an issue, and work through negotiation, through communication, through looking to the issue as a whole, not partial part of it. And so look at holiness more than just being aggressive toward things. That's I am. That's I feel.
So why would you say, if you are a leader, would you call yourself a leader?
Well, that's, I think, well, I want to be a leader. I want to be a complete leader. Maybe I have still lots of learning to do, and I keep learning every day. And to be 100% complete leader, I think that I have a lot to learn. Yes, I do.
What kinds of things do you have to learn?
This is a very interesting question. I really feel that I want to serve my people better and to reach out more. Right now I am reaching out, let's say, for statistically for 350,000 people in a year. My vision is to reach by the thousands and thousands and thousands, and my vision is to cover not only 4 provinces of Afghanistan that I am right now covering. My vision is to serve 33 provinces of Afghanistan, and I have a vision that there wouldn't be one child uneducated in Afghanistan. I would like to serve all the teachers of Afghanistan to be able to participate in the teacher training, and every single teacher has the teacher training. I have a vision that have a facility in health area, have a clinics or hospital that really provide the service to all the people. Right now we are only serving 4 provinces of Afghanistan. So the population of Afghanistan is almost 30 million people. I don't know if that statistic is correct or not. That is according to the UN. I feel that at least I would like to cover half of this population. So that's why I'm calling myself, what is my vision, what I want to reach is yet not satisfying to me. I want to reach out more.
So you've made a wonderful distinction between vision, things that you have a vision for, and things that you want to learn more in your leadership.
Yes.
And the reason why I think it's important for the next generation of leaders to hear you speak about leadership is that oftentimes people have very different ideas about what makes a good leader, what is involved in leadership, and particularly in education, where we're looking and hoping to train educational leaders. I'm very interested to hear you speak about what those qualities are and how people need to learn them.
Well, I think that the way I think about the leadership, I really think that a good leader must have a good ear, must have to listen, and listen without prejudice. A good leader must have a quality to be able to sit and be able to take issue and analyze it, take apart, and reach out for other view, just not only his or her view. Listen, analyze, and be able to share that other people, what they have to say about it, and then serve the leader, serve the community, the people, according to, not to just be one person, one way of doing things, because leadership is how you manage to bring together a group of people or community of the people together and serve them. And if you are a leader to be able to do that, that's a leadership. That's how I call a leadership. But if you are not able to listen and you are distinguished between like a gender issue and ethnic group or tribal group and say, well, I want to serve this, not serve that, I don't call that a leadership. That's my explanation of a leader. And also I think that a leader should be very humble, and a leader should feel the people, be in the level of the people, not above the people. I really believe that those kind of leadership will have an outcome that it's very serve the purpose. But if you are a leader that you are above the other part of society and you are not really can reach for the one that you really don't have feeling for, don't understand where they are coming from. So you must work through the community or through the group that you really understand their lifestyle, their hunger, their poverty, their education level, their schooling, their service. Those are the things that ones who are leaders must be aware of those issues. Like somebody was talking to me today that when we are working in education, but also I'm working in all this area which link with education. So if you really you want to reach out as a leader, you must link the other area. You cannot just concentrate in education and don't look poverty. You can't. You cannot take education and not look at health. You cannot take education and, well, not look at the gender. So these are all together. And so as a leader, you must be able to have a vision for all of it and put them together. That's I feel. I hope I answered you.
Yes, more than answered me.
Thank you. Yes.
So if you could set a research agenda for the field of education that would be useful in your work, what would the top issues be for research?
Well, right now for Afghanistan, because again, I maybe somebody will listen to this and laugh, but I really feel that if I set a research, I will set it for teacher training.
Teacher training. Mm-hmm.
Because I really believe teacher training is the key issue for solving our educational problem in Afghanistan. Because we don't have enough teachers who are really trained. And as a result, thousands and thousands of students go to school and waste their time. So a good teacher will not do that. And also a creative teacher. Creative teacher means so much in Afghanistan right now, because we have so much to give to the students as a creative teacher, because you will not teach dry. You challenge students, encourage them to critical thinking. In order to bring critical thinking, you must be a trained teacher who know how to do those methodology. Bring participatory methodology to the classroom, and question and answer. These are the methodology that we are looking for, and those must be implemented in Afghanistan. Yes, we are doing it, but not enough. We don't have enough resource to do it. We need that. We don't have enough expertise in our country, so we need to encourage more this field. Yeah.
And what kinds of philosophies and practice have you found the most effective in teacher training that you have organized for AIL?
Student-centered technique. Okay. Student-centered technique, participatory methodology, also bringing environmental material to the classroom.
What do you mean environmental material?
Material that is the students are familiar with.
Okay.
That they will be able to find in their own environment and then work from it. Those kind of things, yes.
And I understand that you've developed teacher training specific, right,
yes.
to, and can you talk about how you went about developing it, where you looked for models?
Well, I think that, as I said to somebody else before, I didn't work in the field of education. I worked with colleagues, and we did look for many manual which was from, let's say, from different organization, different center, different university, and we pick up the things that we thought that is more useful, and we put the collection, and then we practice, and then from that we derive our own methodology, which is for our people, for our culture, in level of language, and also in level of meaningful, and in level of perception also, because otherwise it would be foreign to them if we just have a material from, let's say, Europe or America, copy it. So we must design it according to the community that we are living. So we took those modules and then we try to design our own. And so that's the way we did. Yeah.
Can you say a bit about your own education?
Yes, this is interesting, because my own education, again, first I came here and to be a doctor. I study pre-med, and then I major in biology, which was wonderful. I really wanted to study science. It was a very interesting subject for me. Then, as I said today, like you hear me to say that, as I got involved with group work with people from different nationality, I was much interested to communicate with them, to find out what they are doing, what they are all about, and how I can reach to help them, all kinds of help, even choosing a class, even filling application, getting to immigration, do all kinds of things with foreign students. So I find out myself that I really would like to work in a social level, more than just individual doctor to do, just see a patient. And because of that, then I searched, and I thought public health will be the combination of the both, because in public health you can work in civil society, in group work and counseling and working, but at the same time you give, your skill, like professional skill as a public health worker, to reach out patients. And that was, I chose to study public health, and that's how I did my education.
And how was it that you decided to come to the United States?
Well, this is a very interesting, because always I wanted to continue my education, to go to the university, and at the time we didn't have a dormitory for girls when I was going to school, and I finished high school. I came from a city, Herat, which is the second largest city in Afghanistan, but I could not go live in Kabul because I didn't have family in Kabul to go to the university. So my parents told me that I can wait another year, that my whole family moved back to Kabul, then I can go to university. In the meantime, I took the examination for entrance to the university. I passed the examination, and I was chosen in medical school, engineering school, and to go. But I could not go because of that reason. In 1 year I waited, so my family had a friend, and I had some people who were a friend of my family and friend of me, and they said, why she can go to America? And I said, well, I don't know, my father will not allow me. And so they talked to my father, and my father said, yeah, if somebody will take care of her like the way I take care of you as a friend, and that is like my daughter, so I can let her. And so that happened, and they said yes, and I came to America, just like that. So in matter of 1 year, it was I wasn't planning to go to America at all. So I was not ready even for it. My English level wasn't sufficient enough to I come to this country and study, because I had very little English, but I did come. And then I stay here and study. But there were many times that I really wanted to go back, because I wanted to quit, because of the pressure, because of the difficult situation that I was dealing with. But every time that I remember in what circumstance my parents sent me here, I could not go back. And also the war was in my country. Russia invaded Afghanistan. So my parents wrote that I could not come back home. And that's why I stay here. Yeah.
And are there any memorable experiences from your education here in the States that you feel like you carry into your work? Any teachers, any classes? And
yes, I think that good and bad. The good first is because I met some professors here during my undergraduate work that they really were super. They really helped me, and they really were individual professors that really pay attention to my needs and really work with me. And that is the reason that I feel that the relationship between students and teacher is so important, because a teacher can encourage you to keep going on your education, or can distract you so much that you forget about education at all, and that could harm you that much. And so I was lucky. I had some professor that really encouraged me to study and go through hardship and be strong and to take it. And those were really the area that I really concentrated, and I took it to Afghanistan. And right now I am working on that relationship between teacher and students. That's one of my, I could say, is my specialty, that if I go to a classroom and I see the teacher looking to the students even in any way that is a different, I just really could tell the good teacher from the bad teacher just by looking at them. That is, yeah.
You write a lot about cultural sensitivity.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if you could talk about specific programs or services that you found to be harder to make culturally sensitive than others?
Well, for example, right now, I mean, we are in a society that we have been for years and years. We have a culture that women wear modest clothes, and we sort of, it's not that because we are so backgrounded, it's that's in our culture and tradition. If somebody comes with like impose on us that, okay, you wear this kind of clothes or behave this way, it would be very hard for an Afghan woman to accept that, because Afghan culture is appreciate what is we grown up with it. And so if you really want to be reaching out, you must respect that. You must respect the costume, the clothes, the style of living, and then that's, I was telling you that we create things that is from that environment. And the same times, you create things that you respect the culture. And for example, if we are here, a man could not come, I respect that, because you and I sitting and talking, and a man, not because we are so afraid of men, because we are both individual that we are advanced, we are educated, but we respect that culture that men could not be with us, sitting here just in the presence of me and you, and just stranger men. If they are colleagues, yes, they are there, and we respect them. They have their way, and we have our way. We could not come and be like sort of, we know our wall, or we know our frame of how far we can be close to them. We must know that. And if people don't respect that, so it means that you are touching for a culture that is really do not accept that and is sensitive, and as a result, you will not get that much outcome out of that concept, because people don't like it. Or you, for example, we go to the school, you have a program for the children, and you teach to the children that, religion, about Islam. You teach them about their behavior. You go and respect your elder. You respect your mother and father. You, before anybody eats the food, you wait for them. You say your prayer. And these are something, the first grade, second grade students. And if you don't do that, and you said, well, it's okay if your parents come or not, it's okay. Or if you sit with your parents, you can put your feet anywhere you want. I mean, these are the things that is we really respect. And when children behave that way, we explain to them that this is your culture, you must behave this or that, and because your parents will be happier, your aunt, your uncle, or elder than you, you listen to them and you talk to them with respect. You respect each other. So these are in our culture that if we work because we want to be update or we want to be advanced, if interrupt people, it's very bad in my culture, very, very bad. Or to talk ahead of the elder people, it's very, very bad. These are the issues that sometimes people turn off by it, because somebody comes and just barge in and just start talking or being so loud, and people say, oh, what they do. I mean, things like that. I don't know. It's things that is so small, but also so big. You see what I'm saying? Very little things, but it means so much for people, because for years and years these things has been into the community, into the system. So traditionally, those things people expect to be respected. Yeah.
And how did you move toward talking about taboo subjects in the curriculum?
Well,
and what would you say would be were the most taboo, that took the most time and consideration to approach?
Well, for example, religion. Let's bring it to religion. Religion is something that we are Muslim, we will be Muslim all our life. So if we want to discuss Christianity or Judaism in a classroom, we maybe could discuss that, but not in a very like 1st through 6th grade, because in that age, if you discuss this, it will be carry on at home in a different concept that we want to convert them. You see what I'm saying? There is no understanding that this concept is not just because of converting somebody, it's informational. But in that level, if you send it to the children at home, it would be bad. That would be taboo. That's something that you don't do that. Or, like I said to you, we get the textbook, we use methodology that is good for that community. If I take the textbook from here or from Europe with lots of picture, in a different picture, and different maybe a word or concept of religion, something else, and put in front of my students as an assignment for the class, as a homework assignment, that they do it in a just for their English or for social science or something to read. That would be not right. So that's taboo. Because why? Because I didn't respect the culture. I put something in front of the children that the community, the elder, the family, the people will not okay it. So then you will see what kind of material then you can do. So I will read those material myself. And then I create from my own culture and my own tradition a similar scenario and put it in front of my students. And that's acceptable. I don't know if I answered.
And a lot of those scenarios that you've developed are case examples of...
Yeah, case example of family, tradition, living situation of the people who have been living in the past or present, they are living, things like that, yes.
I think it's often thought that cultural sensitivity and finding teacher training or materials that speak to the culture of any particular place is a uniquely or an un-American concern in the sense that we have these curriculum that are much more understood to be able to be used across the country and standardized. And yet there are lots of topics in the United States, and I'll think of one in particular, sexual education, that have a lot of community controversy. And I think the strategies that you've talked about outlining that you've used that are so very participatory and so very community-based are exactly the kinds of strategies that for controversial topics anywhere are really valuable. What kinds of controversial topics do you think in your case are the ones that have really been the most challenging? You mentioned religion. Are there?
Yes. For example, just I give you one example. Like when the Taliban came and they said the educational system was completely supposed to not be exist at all. And I sat around the table with my teacher and I said, okay, what do you guys want? You want to educate the children or not? They said yes. A lot of my people, sometimes they are human beings. They like to go without a scarf or with a little makeup or something. I said, okay, what do you think if just because of this somebody so ignorant outside just shut this program? What do you think? This is how you will deal with it. We came to the conclusion that we don't mind. We will wear hijab, we will wear that big scarf, and we let this door open. This door open. Because if we don't do it, we will be in trouble. We will be in trouble. I know we will be in trouble. If we wear makeup, jewelry, and different color of clothes, bright color, we will be in trouble. A lot of programs did that. They did got into trouble. They did got close. Or, for example, a subject of, you said, a sex education. That is a taboo in Afghanistan. I know. And we don't talk about it. Never we talk about it. But if we want to talk about it, we see our audience, we see our students, the level of the education that they have, and we see that what kind of group they are. Or they are going to take this and really in a participatory way, discuss among themselves or take it home. Or who else is going to be in the classroom that take this home in a different context.
Yeah.
We watch for that. If we saw that the group that with us, that is a group that it will not interpret this in a different context, then we take even the sexual education program or scenario and we discuss, because we have opportunity to learn from it. But if we don't have that kind of group with us, we don't discuss it, because the outcome of it would be more harmful than what we will learn from this discussion. See what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
For example, right now, another example that give you, I talk to my teacher once in a while when we have a meeting, this kind of meeting. I discuss with them the issue of the TV program in Afghanistan. I am turned off by it. I tell them that, look, what's the program in TV? Don't you think that if there be a program to substitute this program, instead of that we have educational program, some learning program that people can learn from it, wouldn't be that better? So they all agree with me. They think that yes, that would be. And I said, okay, think about it. What kind of scenario someday, if we have a TV channel, can be able to produce? And instead of this program from Europe or from America, all this violence, all this action, all these things, we don't show to our community. Just have this kind of program. So we do discuss this. And sometimes we put scenario for the children to perform as a role play. Educational scenario, doctor and nurse scenario, landowner and peasants scenario. We try to create different kind of scenario that it could be simple, that people can learn from it, that, okay, if you have a land, how much did you pay for your worker? And if you didn't pay, how much, why, and what's the problem? Or if you are a patient, what kind of service you need from your doctor, and if doctor is kind, listen to the patient, how it would be the outcome. Or if you are this kind of scenario, we put and we do role play with the students.
And those are around issues of human rights and
human
peace.
rights, women's rights, peace, health, environmental health, all kinds of things. Yes.
Let me ask you a little bit about gender. You started with girls and women's education centers.
Yes.
And I remember reading that at a certain point a group of young men came and asked about having their own learning centers.
Yes, that was one issue that I really, it was a situation that young men, they wanted to say to me that as much as the woman needs to learn how to read and write, they need to, because for all their life they have not been in school. They just learn how to shoot gun. That's all they learn. And what is their fault? What should they do right now? How they can support their family, and what is their skill is going to be. Aren't they matter in the society? In that word they talk to me. And yes, we create program for them. And you know that from that program in that village, right now we have students who are in 7th, 8th grade. We have students from the same program that they were asking us that they did not know a word, how to read and write. Now they are working in computer, they are learning English, and I'm very happy. And also afterwards, I come to sit and think about it that, yes, these are the men who are creating problem for women. They must sit together and learn from each other. Because if we really want the two groups to go work together and respect each other, you know, so we should let them to come in program. And I start asking the donor, well, want to support the men also. And now there is, we support the boys, but still we didn't open for men a center as such. They request, a lot of them, they are requesting literacy program from me. And so far I did not have for men a literacy program. I provide service for men in the clinic, but I did not provide the service yet for literacy program for men. And the reason is because still in the situation in Afghanistan, the men and women center are supposed to be separate. And so we didn't have the resource to expand more to have a men's center. I request if they can, in a mosque, they can have a room. We will provide the teacher. And then it will be separate. The men can go and we will provide the teacher to teach them how to read and write. But so far, we are not yet successful because it needs monitoring. We sit and discuss because we just don't set up a center and let them to do it what they want to do it. How do I know that or really they are learning how to read and write, or the teacher without monitoring female teacher that I have, what will happen? So it needs a completely different division that we prepare and design for that, and yet we are not able to do that. Yeah.
And I also noticed that when you talk about women and girls, you often tie the importance of women's education to children's education. That women and children are almost like always said together.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how you see, if you see any difference between educating girls and women as opposed to educating children in general?
Yes. First of all, I think that educating women, I think that it's very important because they will educate their children and they will watch for their children education. This is one issue that I am really targeting, women's education. And the second issue that I am targeting children, to educate children, the younger that I get them, the better education they will have and the better understanding of gaining knowledge they will have, because they are so fresh and they are so young. The younger you get them, the sooner they will be a good citizen, good, something that you can count on them. Like I saw that, as I said today again in the classroom, when I have a preschool students, and when they finish, by the time they are 6 years old, they know 3 languages at the same time. They know how to write. They know their alphabet. They know their number. They know their color. They know how to sing song, perform, do role play. They are so confident on themselves. And when you compare them with the first grade or second grade students in a public, they are 10 times better than the first grade, second grade students. So that is telling me that really reaching out for children as young as they could be is very important.
And you've started preschool.
Oh, yes, yes.
Right.
Yes.
And what age does that start?
But we have in Peshawar, when we had program, we started from 3 months. But in Afghanistan right now, we have from 3 years old. Yes, from 3 years old to 6 years old, we have preschool program.
And teacher training for
preschool. I developed a manual for preschool, yes. A wonderful manual, yes. Again, with all kinds of methodology. I'm not an educationalist, as you know that. I didn't have a special training in education. But the manual that I developed, UNICEF took the manual with the government of Afghanistan. They discussed it, they read it, and UNICEF came up with the agenda that we don't need any more manual to develop. This is it. But the government of Afghanistan, they don't want to acknowledge that they are going to use that. They said, okay, and they are thinking about it, and they invite me to 3 meeting. And so they discuss the content of the program with me to see how is it, and they recopy it and did whatever. It is okay, it doesn't make difference. But I'm just telling you for the information that it is such a manual that it's today update, you know.
That's terrific.
It's a wonderful program for our preschool, yes.
And you've also started a university.
Yes. From scratch, from very scratch. Work every year, curriculum by curriculum, trying to just upgrade. And right now we have 3 departments: computer science, pedagogy, and nursing. And all 3 is doing very well. As a matter of fact, recently the government of Pakistan wants us to link with them or do something, and I am trying to see if I can have a link with Preston University. Yes. It's very good. The students who graduate from our program so far, most of them with the United Nations program in Afghanistan or in Pakistan, or with the government of Afghanistan, with the UN, the president office, they are working because they are so qualified. Top. The program that we have in our computer science, still University of Kabul doesn't have one subject of it. Yes.
And where is the university?
Peshawar.
In Peshawar.
Yes. Very small house, rented, and have about 6 rooms, and that's it.
And how many students?
180.
Wow. And how many faculty?
About 18. Yes. It's okay. Small. Very small.
More than
It's small. Very
small,
small.
yes.
Very small. Very small. You know, the reason I really start that program, the students were graduating from high school in Peshawar, girls and boys, and then they have nothing to do, and they were sit home and not doing anything. And smart students. In Peshawar, I told you, the program was so good because we did a lot of monitoring and training. And I felt, gosh, these young men and women sit home and do nothing and waste their life. What is this, you know? So I request funding from people, and nobody wants to fund a university. Everybody was for a primary education for Afghan refugee. Everybody was telling me, well, priority is primary education. Finally, one day I just said, I am going to do this no matter what, I have funding or not funding. So just we start having the program, and we support it by getting some fee, but they don't have that much fee. And then we coordinated with our AIL teacher training program that some of the staff will go from the teacher training and teach to the university. And then little by little we upgrade that, and we brought the teacher from the Preston University and some teacher from the Kabul University, so we start hiring them. Yeah.
And do you have plans for expanding beyond pedagogy, computer science, and nursing?
Yes, I have planned that take the program into Afghanistan, and I really feel that expanding this area, not expanding other additional department to it yet, and maybe someday science, but computer science we have, then we can, general science we add to it, because then they can take the curriculum in general science and then apply it to different, but not any other division, but at least expand the program inside Afghanistan. Yes. Hope.
So you've talked about cultural sensitivity. How do you approach issues of gender stereotyping and sort of developing a curriculum that will combat gender stereotyping? We do develop curriculum. We do have a workshop in gender sensitivity, and the way that we work on it is that mainly women has this right and men can respect this right, because doesn't make a difference. A task a man can complete, a woman can complete, and by showing them example of it. And also we provide curriculum for children, the same thing, that your brother can do the same things you can do, or your sister can do the same thing you do, by showing them that how they can really reach. Or for the women, that when you have your children, make sure that you do whatever you do for your boy, do for your daughter, or what. For example, in Afghanistan is a culture that always the boy is get away from anything. Anything that they do is okay, but the girl, whatever they do is not good enough. And so we try to teach them that why you are doing this is wrong, because it's you are making the difference between the two, and the two are the same human being, and they have the same right. And so we teach them in that perspective. Yeah. And do you find that you can get parents involved in that discussion as well?
In preschool we have our preschool students family, they come, because it's a group of people who are like sort of advanced, and they could come to a meeting as often as we want, and we talk to them about that in detail with them. And but with adult students, sometimes we have opportunity to get parents, sometimes we don't, because sometimes they don't have the, what do you call, still they don't have that knowledge of being involved with the teacher. We try to build this relationship to that they come, and then we sit and discuss with them. But we have harder time with the older students than younger students. Younger students, parents, they come. And with older students, they don't participate that much, yes. We talk about early child marriage. We talk about that also. And we try to discourage them from making decisions for their children to get them married. These issues are being discussed. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that that's one of the biggest impediments to girls' education in Afghanistan?
Very biggest, yes.
Early?
Yes, early marriage, yes. It's a very huge problem still, is it? Right now because of the issue of security. If before it was ignorance, now it's not only ignorance but also issue of security. They just marry their daughter because they want that somebody take care of them and they be secure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And do you mean physical as well, physical security as well as security from violence?
Security from violence, security from kidnap or rape or whatever. Yeah. That, I think that if their daughter has got to that age, should be involved with somebody else before somebody else. Create some problem for them.
And what have your strategies been for dealing with issues around violence in terms of curriculum, in terms of services?
We have workshop in violence against women, and we try to work with the participants who have been violated. They are at home abused or have family abuse or relative or distant relative abuse them. And so we communicate with them, and we tell them that if you have a problem, you can come and contact us. And also here, this way, you can work with your family, your differences, that you don't get into the situation like that, or understanding, because a lot of men in Afghanistan right now, before they did different way, now are doing different way. That when they are frustrated, they don't have work. The first thing go and they just beat their wife or get upset with their wife and then children. So we communicate with them that try to see how you can also be part of this economy, that you can help the family, or how can you be more trying to, when a man gets so upset and come here and just ignore him and just walk out and try to let him to just call off because he is frustrated. He could not have food, he could not have things for his children. He's frustrated, he comes, and if he's upset, don't just let the fire more, just try to negotiate, talk, and communicate with him. So we try to solve this way. And the end of the result also that if you don't have any other way to go, here is the law, here is your right, here is we lead them to the Women's Affair, and that they have a legal office that they can go and seek, legal assistance. But that is not as much as we want to, because also the woman does not accept that. They don't want to go by themselves. We are talking about culture, that they also sort of not ready to do that, because what they call it, in the society, in the community, they will be like pinpoint as, oh, so-and-so has problem with their family. So they do not want to go that much. So we have to do as much as we could do through the classroom and through the work of counseling ourselves to them, things like that.
And is that what led you to make such strong connections between health and clinics and
yes.
education?
Yeah, and in reality, to tell you the truth, in our health education program, we do so much counseling. Who is doing the counseling? Today I find that some girl who was studying mental education, and I said, we need you because we don't have that. And also counseling, we don't have that. It's a new field for Afghanistan. But when we see a problem, we just tackle it whichever way we could, and to just get the people out of it. Yes. In our health workshop, every single woman has problem. So we deal with that. That is one of the reasons also our clinic is so successful, because our doctor, our nurse, our health educator spend lots of time with patients. Sometimes even as much as they are mentally, they are sick or disturbed, not that much physically. We deal with those kind of people.
From the trauma?
Yeah, trauma.
You must be getting tired.
It's okay. Okay, I hope I answered your
Oh,
question.
you answered a whole lot of questions. Let me see what else I had down here. Oh, this is just a complete curiosity of mine. Would you call yourself a feminist?
Feminist.
Is there a feminist movement in Afghanistan, and would you?
You want me to be honest?
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, I don't think in Afghanistan still yet exists a feminist movement, because a movement, you call it when you have a large community is doing the same objective, going to the same vision. We don't have that. And going for that vision is mean feminist activity. They don't have it in Afghanistan right now. And myself, I don't like to call myself feminist. I don't like that word. I'm sorry, I'm telling you. But I am really looking for gender. I'm a social activist. You could call that. I am social entrepreneurial. I am. But I don't call myself feminist activist. So that, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And we don't have that movement yet in Afghanistan. I don't believe that. We do have people who think in that length, but we don't have a feminist movement as such. I don't think so.
So when you say social activism, is that understood to be a growing movement toward social justice?
Social justice. Social justice. Social, you know, yes, social justice. You call that social justice because poverty and inequality and class-wise, educational-wise, economical-wise, all those things. So it's social justice, yes. Yeah.
And I noticed that you've done a lot of relief work, refugee work, and that you mentioned in one of the articles that despite the best intentions of some organizations, there can be unanticipated controversies that arise. And I wondered if you had some examples and ways of advice that you would give to relief organizations.
Before, for a while, I didn't take that initiative to work on a relief situation because I felt that that's not my area and that's not what I want, because again, my concept of helping or providing service for Afghanistan today be self-sufficient, and they can do as much as they could. But then there was an emergency situation that I was desperate, because one is in Pakistan during the earthquake, that a lot of Afghan was really had problem. Nobody was reaching for them because they were trying to reach the Pakistani community. So the Afghan community were without home, without food, without shelter. They were right there in the area and nobody was serving them. So I felt that this is our again duty to go and take care of those people. And also one time last year, that we did relief for Afghanistan because the winter was so harsh and cold, and I just was watching from my room the mountain people going. The children are climbing to the mountain barefoot and taking water and freezing weather, or I go to the side of the street, see people sitting under the tent in the snow underneath them or over them with the tent. I felt this is horrible. So we took that initiative to do a relief work. But what is my advice, that when I was in Pakistan also, because a lot of, again, people respected me, people trusted me, a lot of people came and complained. This was line of people for days and days in the front of the United Nations, UNHCR, United Nations for Refugee Commission. They were there waiting. And I said, why they are waiting? They said they are waiting for the service they be registered, and they will be giving a tent and appliance they can be in the camp. And I said, what is taking people so long? Because these people are waiting for weeks on the sun and sitting there on the street until they can get a slip of paper to go get their. They said, well, that is the way. Anyway, I don't want to complain. So in that time, I said, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to see what's going on. So I went there and I find out that a lot of goods were giving, and the things were giving to the Pakistani, and the Pakistani people will delay the process from morning to 12 or 1 o'clock, and then 1 o'clock, 2 or 3 line of people get the service, and then they close it, and then they said next day come. And it was like a blanket and utensil and things like that. And then I find out that those things were stuck in the storage area for these people, and these things I find out from the street, from the bazaar. And that really upset me, and that was the time that I really was, from that time I became against giving relief like that, you know. I felt that this is not right, it's not getting to the people, it's going to the people that they are running the system, is what is this. So that's my advice, that if the relief is giving, really should be giving to the people who really have the heart and have the, you know, will to deliver it. See, that's my advice is that I am not looking down on UN or this or that, but I saw that in my own eyes, and I did went to stay on that line in our register for 3 days. Every day I went volunteer. I just register people to speed up the process and get, and in the process almost I was killed because people were like this packed, and my car was going under the hand of the people up to the ear, because the people, as soon as they saw me, they come, because they were for weeks, they were waiting for those things, item. And it's hard sometimes, those things. It's very frustrated. You do the best you could.
And you were asked earlier where you get your strength.
Yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration?
Inspiration. I think inspiration, I feel, again, today the room was half full of young women. And I'm very attractive to young people. I don't know, that's for some reason today also I said that I want to be young. I'm very attractive to them because when I look at them, I see that they are future of my country. And I see that they have so much. And I really think that they inspire me with their energy and with their open mind and with their knowledge. Even maybe they don't have the education, they ask good questions. And that's really inspire me. And that's the reason I really want to hire as many as young women as I could. And that's why I'm getting trouble. A lot of them I hire, a lot of them get married right away. As soon as they work with me 1 year or 2 years, they become so good. And then they just get married. It's breaking my heart. It's just, I don't know, the attraction is there because they become so good. Yes, they are so good. Yeah, that's my inspiration.
That's your inspiration. That's
yes.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Are there things that you anticipated I might have asked that I didn't ask that you would want to talk about?
I really want to talk one thing that I don't know this video where it gets. I want that the people think about the women of Afghanistan and know their capacity and don't judge them for the clothes that they wear or the tradition that they are in. That they are human beings and they are polite. They don't talk, but they have depth. Just look behind those clothes and look behind that quietness or submissiveness. They have knowledge also. So many often you face people that because they are not bold and they are not loud and they are not with the style of clothes, just walking to the street, they say, oh, well, she will not know anything or he will not know anything. That is the things that I hope that we as human beings, we could not judge others just by looking at them, that they are this or that. That's I hope that.
That's really a place in teacher training that I think is so important, is the way that so often adults can immediately judge children or can judge a group of children
Yes.
without really knowing what their capacities and
Yes,
capabilities
absolutely.
are.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
well, I think that your message about how we look at Afghanistan in general and the people there, but particularly the women, I am very confident that what you have had to say to various groups since you've been here is a strong message in and of itself about that, and I hope that you'll take back the message from here that that is indeed a goal that we have in education, is to change the way that people do look at each other and make judgments.
Well, I really want to tell you that I am very grateful and honored to be here in the Leadership Center, and through this educational system that you have to involving students, I am really assured that I think that we are in a good hand. I think that we will be able to learn from you, and I think that already through your activity for these 2 days, you have proven to me that everybody in this school is really, School of Kennedy, really looking for the word. So I am very pleased with that. And to tell you the truth, I have been in here once before, right? Yeah. And that meeting was completely different meeting than this meeting. And I really learned so much that I am very, very grateful and honored to be here. Thank you.
Wow.
It was good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got the special benefit of getting to be able to meet you, and was so sorry that I wasn't teaching my gender and education class this semester, so I could have brought my students and had them talk with you and learn about all these initiatives and talk about different initiatives around the world that I think are so similar and should be better networked together. We were talking about Digital Study Hall as an example of one of those. And
well, don't be worried, because I'm going to ask your resource for your resource, and I'm going to communicate with you, and I'm going to link with you, and we are going to share with each other, and that will be wonderful. Yes.
That's right. So this is the beginning.
Yes, that is the beginning. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
I bet you're going to want some more hot tea.
No, it's okay. That's fine. I hope it's okay. I have no idea.
I hope it's okay too. Did I ask you questions that you found okay to talk about? And
no, that I didn't find that. I mean, for example, right now, any material you give me, I designed for your seminar, and with no hesitation. And before, I had hard time to really. I have to work on it several weeks and months to design. Okay.
What taboo topics can you talk about that you developed particular strategies to address?
Yeah. Well, and for example, in reproductive health, according to Islamic culture, you try to have as many children as you could to have it. And if you want to say, okay, you prevent to not have children, it's against the religion. So you will be in trouble. But what we did, we felt it that in Afghanistan, we are not going to approach that way. We learn how to say, okay, healthy mother. Healthy mother by means of, if you are healthier, if you take care of yourself, first get strong, eat right, take care of your health, then you will be good for your husband. And your husband will be happier with you. And also you will reach out for your other children. The children will be healthier. You do not have sick children to take care of. Once you got stronger, then you can have the next baby. And this was amazing because healthy mother, it's like this went through the village to village. And people keep coming for this reproductive health workshop, and they listen in this scenario. And they go home and they wash themselves, they clean themselves, they try to eat as much good, right? And also we had Healthy Mom product to give them, and we give them Healthy Mom product, and also multivitamin we give them. So they of course feel better, they get better. And we had the report, the data from the people back, that their relationship with their husband even get better, and their husband are happier, and their fighting is stopped. And of course, the meantime, they stop having, children. So they come ask for condom, they ask for all kinds of method how to child space, and it was wonderful, and nobody said anything to us. As a matter of fact, we hand out hundreds and thousands of condoms to the people, which before, if we did that, we will be attacked, we will be tried to kill. And but with Healthy Mom scenario that we developed in reproductive health, we were very, very successful. And so that is one issue that I really think that I give lots of credit to my staff and AIL staff, that they were able to deliver this. And another way that, like self-immolation, people right now in Afghanistan also, we were the one who really developed a seminar for self-immolation. And the reason is, as you asked before, that in our health education we do a lot of counseling. And when we counsel, we had many people with many problems. As a matter of fact, we saw people burn people. They just burn with different reasons, doing different things. And also we treat people who did purposely by themselves, and we asked them why, and the reason is, again, because they had problem, they were abused, and so in order for them to overcome this issue, they were burning themselves, which is not right. But the reason that they did that, before they could not speak, and they could not see that they are abused, through so many women's rights workshops that we gave, they become open. They saw that somebody is abusing them. In order for them to really, reward that, something that, respond to that, because they could not respond enough to say no, or why you are doing that. They wanted to show through burning themselves that the person is stopped. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a good thing, but in one way it's a good thing. And we did that workshop, so as a result, people become more and more aware of their right. And this self-immolation workshop, we told them that they shouldn't do that. It's not good things to do. They should communicate better. They should negotiate better. They should go to the resource, to find out help. And through that, we decrease this self-immolation, both reproductive health issue. There is mortality, morbidity is reduced right now in Afghanistan, and self-immolation is reduced because of giving this kind of workshop to really help the people to, yes, you resent this, yes, you don't want this, but there is another way. Instead of burning yourself, there is another way to do it, and do it this way, see how is the outcome. And they did it, and they come back again and says it's working. Yeah.
And self-immolation is a topic that wasn't discussed in villages.
Yeah, no, it wasn't discussed. And also, before it wasn't an issue, it became an issue because people could see their right. As they gain knowledge of human rights, women's rights, then they start having this. And then we said, that is wrong, you shouldn't do that, but you should sit and discuss with your family the problem. And in order to resent what they are doing to you, just resenting by burning yourself to be killed, you are not accomplishing anything. You better sit and discuss it in this way, in that way, and tell them why they are doing this to you and why you think it's not right. Just talk to them. And so it's the outcome was good. We solved a lot of family dispute through that. Yes.
How about AIDS?
Well, we don't have, fortunately, we don't have AIDS cases right now in Afghanistan, only 36 cases, and we do advise them on AIDS, and we say that is a disease that you get through blood and through saliva, and we explain to them, and we also tell them to watch for your partner, and they understand, and we really educate them about it. We don't have that many cases, hopefully we will not, but people are getting awareness about it. Yeah. In our health education we give that also. Many topics we touch. Yeah.
I didn't ask you this, but have you had any failures that you feel like you learned from?
Oh, well, failure. In what? I don't know.
We usually talk about successes,
yes,
right?
and it's not good that all my stories success is I just, well, recently there is one thing that I don't want to talk about it, but I think that now you are asking me, I have to. I'm very disappointed, and I don't like what happened. I had a center that is very successful. As a matter of fact, the highlight of my program is that center with women. It's a whole center is running by women. It's women. Recently, they were approached by a group of men that they should close the center, and my people said no, they don't, and the next day they were threatened. So that center is closed, and I feel a failure for that center, although it's not what happened because of EIL, but that I could not have the power or the opportunity to stop those people, because in this center there are 250 women who are so determined to learn, and they come up in a very fast, in matter of 5 years. They improve their lifestyle, they improve their learning, they learn how to read and write, and they had such a vision. They want to do so many things with me and with this center, and to this be shut to them, it's really devastated me, and I feel that I am in my post a failure for the first time, that I'm not able to do something for them to reopen that center right away, although it's temporarily is closed. But I don't know, until this group of people are don't disappear, I don't know if I can open or not. That is right now something that I really feel in it. Yeah, because those women wanted to do so much. As a matter of fact, a month ago I went to the celebration in that ceremony. These women were so good that sometimes I think myself, I put eyes on them because they were so good, you know, and this happened to them.
What was the reason?
Nothing.
Nothing. They were too successful.
No, the reason that they were too successful, because we had good center, good teacher, we did good service. But what closed them is, I think, this group of people in that area is just burning school and closing center. So in one of those centers was my center. And I feel that I wish I could do something to stop them, but I cannot do anything else. I can't do anything to reopen that center right now until those people are not disappear. That's it. Yeah.
Well, the story's not over.
Yes, that's true. Issue as a whole, not partial part of it. And so look at holiness more than just being aggressive toward things. That's that's how I feel.
So why would you say, if you are a leader, would you call yourself a leader?
Well, I think, well, I want to be a leader. I want to be a complete leader. Maybe I have still lots of learning to do, and I keep learning every day. And to be 100% complete leader, I think that I have a lot to learn. Yes, I do.
What kinds of things do you have to learn?
This is a very interesting question. I really feel that I want to serve my people better and to reach out more. Right now I am reaching out, let's say, for statistically for 350,000 people in a year. My vision is to reach by the thousands and thousands and thousands, and my vision is to cover not only 4 provinces of Afghanistan that I am right now covering. My vision is to serve 33 provinces of Afghanistan, and I have a vision that there wouldn't be a one child uneducated in Afghanistan. I would like to serve all the teachers of Afghanistan to be able to participate in the teacher training, and every single teacher has the teacher training. I have a vision that have a facility in health area, have a clinics or hospital that really provide the service to all the people. Right now we are only serving 4 provinces of Afghanistan. So the population of Afghanistan is almost 30 million people. I don't know if that statistic is correct or not. That is according to the UN. I feel that at least I would like to distinguish between like a gender issue and ethnic group or tribal group and say, well, I want to serve this, not serve that. I don't call that a leadership. That's my explanation of a leader. And also I think that a leader should be very humble, and a leader should feel the people, be in the level of the people, not above the people. I really believe that those kind of leadership will have an outcome that it's very serve the purpose. But if you are a leader that you are above the other part of society and you are not really can reach for the one that you really don't have feeling for, don't understand where they are coming from. So you must work through the community or through the group that you really understand their lifestyle, their hunger, their poverty, their education level, their schooling, their service. Those are the things that ones who are leaders must be aware of those issues. Like somebody was talking to me today that when we are working in education, but also I'm working in all this area which link with education. So if you really want to reach out as a leader, you must link the other area. You cannot just concentrate in education and don't look poverty. You can't. You cannot take education and not look at health. You cannot take education and, well, not look at the gender. So these are all together. And so as a leader, you must be able to have a vision for all of it and put them together. That's I feel. I hope I answered you.
Yes, more than answered me.
Thank you. Yes.
So if you could set a research agenda for the field of education that would be useful in your work, what would the top issues be for research?
Well, right now for Afghanistan, because again, I maybe somebody will listen to this and laugh, but I really feel that if I set a research, I will set it for teacher training.
Teacher training.
Because I really believe teacher training is the key issue for solving our educational problem in Afghanistan. Because we don't have enough teachers who are really trained. And as a result, thousands and thousands of students go to school and waste their time. So a good teacher will not do that. And also a creative teacher. Creative teacher means so much in Afghanistan right now, because we have so much to give to the students as a creative teacher, because you will not teach dry. You challenge students, encourage them to critical thinking. In order to bring critical thinking, you must be a trained teacher who know how to do those methodology. bring participatory methodology to the classroom, and question and answer. These are the methodology that we are looking for, and those must be implemented in Afghanistan. Yes, we are doing it, but not enough. We don't have enough resource to do it. We need that. We don't have enough expertise in our country, so we need to encourage more this field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what kinds of philosophies and practice have you found the most effective in teacher training that you have organized for AIL?
Student-centered technique.
Okay.
Student-centered technique, participatory methodology, also bringing environmental material to the classroom.
What do you mean environmental material?
Material that is the students are familiar with.
Okay.
That they will be able to find in their own environment and then work from it. Those kind of things, yes.
And I understand that you've developed teacher training specific, right,
Yes.
to, and can you talk about how you went?
Half of this population. So that's why I'm calling myself, what is my vision, what I want to reach is yet not satisfying to me. I want to reach out more.
So you've made a wonderful distinction between vision, things that you have a vision for, and things that you want to learn more in your leadership.
Yes.
And the reason why I think it's important for the next generation of leaders to hear you speak about leadership is that oftentimes people have very different ideas about what makes a good leader, what is involved in leadership, and particularly in education, where we're looking and hoping to train educational leaders. I'm very interested to hear you speak about what those qualities are and how people need to learn them.
Well, I think that the way I think about the leadership, I really think that a good leader must have a good ear, must have to listen, and listen without prejudice. A good leader must have a quality to be able to sit and be able to take issue and analyze it, take apart, and reach out for other view, just not only his or her view. Listen, analyze, and be able to share that other people, what they have to say about it, and then serve the leader, serve the community, the people, according to, not to just be one person, one way of doing things, because leadership is how you manage to bring together a group of people or community of the people together and serve them. And if you are a leader to be able to do that, that's a leadership. That's how I call a leadership. But if you are not able to listen and you...
Go ahead. So one of the things that you said at the lunch that I was really compelled by was the distinction between politics and leadership. That someone asked you if you had ever thought about becoming a representative in the government, and you commented negatively. You said you weren't, but that. So I'd love to have you talk about what you see as the difference or the relationship between politics and leadership, since you definitely are identified as a leader, but not necessarily a politician.
Social leader.
Social leader.
I call myself a social leader.
Okay.
If I am a leader, I don't know if I am a leader, but if I am a leader, I feel a social leader. To be a social leader, because a politician has an agenda that it goes with politics, which I don't want to touch in it, because I feel that That's not my area, that's not my expertise. My expertise is to create from the civil society leadership movement. Leadership movement that it will take part in a social affair, how to reach out for the needs of the society, how they can fulfill those area that there is a need, how they can listen, and how they can fill out those positions to be a part of a group, a movement that will help the society to be complete and a peaceful society. Because I believe that a peaceful society can serve a better nation than a disturbed society. And to have a peaceful society, you need a peaceful leader. You need to take agenda, take an issue, and work through negotiation, through communication, through looking to the